TP-Link, paint your home in Wi-Fi. School, what are you doing? I thought you said we are painting the home in Wi-Fi. No, that's not what I meant. Huh? Sorry. This is SKMDK, back with another video, and after a long time indeed. And well, what matters is I'm back. Yes, I'm back. Okay, anyway, let's get into the video. So today we'll be looking at the TP-Link Deco Mesh Wi-Fi network. And if you recall, it was once I did a video where I was showing how to sort of get rid of Wi-Fi dead zone in your house. And I did mention a mesh network is an alternative, but it's quite pricey. But guess what? I ended up buying one for myself because the Powerline wasn't doing sort of a good job for me, especially now that I was trying to move into a smart home and very dependent on Wi-Fi. I needed something that was reliable. So I got that TP-Link Deco Wi-Fi mesh network, and it's a Deco X20. So today we'll be looking at unboxing of it, as well as a quick setup, as well as also then finally we're going to test whether it's actually increasing the speed and all that. But we'll have another full review video after this one. So this will just be an unboxing and just setup and testing a bit, but I'll have another full review video. So stay tuned and actually subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and give the video a like. Let's get into it. So let's look at the packaging first. As always, that's what we look at in unboxings. The packaging looks great. They say Wi-Fi dead zone killer and can connect up to 150 devices. So this is quite suited for my setup because I'm continuously making my home smart. So I changed all my switches to be smart switches, and you can now just imagine the amount of devices that are depending on my Wi-Fi network at once. So 150 devices is a good number for me, right? You can also see from the back side, it's actually made for houses with more than one floor. So well suited for my house. As if you remember last time I was saying that I was connecting the Powerline extender to upstairs in my house, where in my little office where I sometimes used to get poor network. So this is suited for it because then I have 2 stories, and then it will obviously work nicely because as you can see here, they mention, or they actually show a setup where you have sort of 2 floors and the deco's connected in different sort of floors, right? And they also talk about seamless roaming, which is probably the best feature with regards to mesh networks for me. And I have a video coming up. As I said, I'll have a full review video. I will show you how I've actually used this to make my home even more smarter. So stay tuned. It will be quite an exciting or interesting one, I think. Not forgetting Wi-Fi 6. One of the selling points of this setup is Wi-Fi 6 is the latest sort of wireless standard. So you're really working sort of with the latest tech. And yeah, it's always nice to be happy or sort of to know that you're actually also in the front line and not using Wi-Fi or sort of old network. It also shows that you can cover up to 5,800 square feet. So it covers quite a huge space. So much ground, and clearly painting your house in Wi-Fi as we sort of started, not that other way, but with Wi-Fi, and you'll see now. Let's unbox it. Actually, let us look at some spec first. This already upgrades my connection at home, as my router only supported 2.4 gigahertz frequency. This one supports 5 gigahertz too. Pretty good. How it works is if your device supports 5 gigahertz, it will use that one first. So it will try to prioritize 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi frequency because that's much more faster. And there but the truth is 5 gigahertz frequency also has drawbacks in that it struggles to penetrate through walls. So if your house has thick walls like my house, sometimes your Wi-Fi will not be able to get to the other place or to the other rooms. But the good thing here is the Deco is also smart to know that if it realizes that you are losing connection on the 5 gigahertz network, it will try to switch you to the 2.4 gigahertz network so that it can sort of, because 2.4 will be able to penetrate through your walls or your thick walls, and then so that you can still connect. But obviously it's not as fast as 5 gigahertz, but at least you know that you'll still be connected. And I particularly see this in my garage, which is also a thick wall. So now if you think about the router being in my house, going from the thick wall in my house and going to another thick wall in the garage, the network sort of struggles on 5 gigahertz network. So I've seen that with my phone. When I go there in my garage and it tries to connect to the Deco, it will struggle, the signal will go low, and it will try to go to 2.4 gigahertz and the signal becomes better. So this is actually quite a good thing with the Deco network. So in the packaging, they also promise that the setup is quick. We'll check that in a few minutes and let's see if indeed it is quick. So let's open it now. I have to say, this looks so beautiful. It's unlike the typical routers that look like spiders or some sort of, yeah, you know what I'm talking about, where it looks a bit funny and you always feel like it's better for you to actually put this behind sort of your computer or anything so that it doesn't look scary there. But this one looks beautiful, so it can actually sort of complements your desk setup. And yeah, and I actually don't know whether the name Deco actually goes with the fact that it sort of blends in well with the decorations. You get it? I don't know, but that's what they call it. They call it a Deco, so maybe that's the reason. Then they show the different lights here. You have yellow, which sort of, so when you connect it the first time, it will be yellow to show that it's setting up. The next light that they show you, it's blue, which is like sort of, it will be pulsing blue when it's ready to set up. So when it's like sort of new or you've reset it. And then it will show green once it's connected to the network. And then the last one is red. And actually this status indicators, sort of status lights, I actually find them quite useful on my lights. Actually help, because when I sometimes lose network, I don't have to go on the app or check anything. I just need to look at the Deco, and then I see the red light, I'm like, I've lost connection. Then I sort of investigate what's happening. Now let's look at one of the units. By the way, they are all the same units, so there's not sort of like the main Deco. Well, you will call it the main Deco, but they're all the same, so you can actually use any as the main Deco. The main Deco will be the one that connects to your modem or your router, so the one that really comes with the network or the internet connection, sort of broadcasts to the other Decos, which also broadcasts to the other devices. So sort of, you remember the Wi-Fi and sort of mesh network, they all connected at once. So instead of you connected to be to sort of one internet connection or sort of access point and another access point, these ones, they all sort of talk together. So meaning, as I spoke about, a seamless sort of roaming. So if you move from one room to another, you're still sort of connected to one network. So you don't sometimes lose network and connect. It just sort of takes you to from one node to another. So you can move anywhere into the room and your connection stays perfect. And then let's look at also at the back. We have two Ethernet ports at the back and a port to power the unit. There are some serial numbers under the device, and then there are also air vents to the side. I believe this. Now, in my sort of experience with them, I think they sometimes get a bit hot. So it makes sense that there's this air vents to make sure that they stay cool. Now let's set them all aside. So actually also looking at the bottom side, they even have rubber bases. So meaning that they will sort of stay nicely on your surface. With also a reset button here. So if you sort of want to reset to factory settings, you just sort of take sort of a needle and just press and hold, and it will sort of reset. And then obviously there's also a manual. Then TP-Link was kind enough to include one Ethernet cable, and this is the one that will sort of connect from your main router or from your modem, connecting to the main Deco. So this is sort of a nice touch because you don't have to now go look for Ethernet cables. As soon as you buy this, you can be immediately set up. So that's a good thing. And looking at the power adapters themselves, they also look slick like the units. So I have to say, I actually like the way this sort of complements your desk setup. It sort of looks nice with everything that's sort of going on your desk. So now I've gone downstairs where my main router is, and we'll connect the first Deco, which will be our main Deco. Let's look at setting it up now. So you can see from the box, you just have a QR code which one can just scan, and then that will take them to the download page where they can download the TP-Link Deco app, which we'll be using to set up your network and actually also managing the network. And as I said, full review video is coming where I'll show you all the stuff that you can actually do on the app. I think it's actually quite cool that you can control your network on your phone, and gives you a lot of controls, I think. So while it's downloading, let us try to connect the Deco. So starting with the power cable, connect the power cable. It immediately starts showing a yellow light, which, as we also saw there, that's when it's starting up, signaling that it is so it's signaling that it is starting up. Next, we'll connect the supplied Ethernet cable, the one that came with the box, from the Deco to the router. It starts blinking blue after some time, and this means that it is ready for setup. So let's go back to the app, right? Open the app. It asks you to create a TP-Link ID if you don't have one yet. So I don't have a TP-Link ID, so I'm gonna create one, activate it, and we can now then log in with the account that we just created. We can now click on let's begin, and you can see it says paint your home in Wi-Fi. So I'm about to paint our home in Wi-Fi. Now it takes us to where we can identify the Deco model that we have. This is a Deco X20. So let's click on X20. And then it first lets you know what you need to have ready to actually set it up. So you will need your Deco unit, which is what we have here. We'll need the power cable and the Ethernet cable, which everything is in the packaging. So we have them all set up. It tells us, and then the next thing, it tells us to power off our modem. So we'll do that and sort of let it start up again. And after, it asks us if to wait for the Deco to start pulsing blue. So we can see it's pulsing blue. So let's say yes, it's pulsing blue. And let's wait for it. As for location connection, which I don't know why, maybe it's just the way it can sort of identify it. There, we found it. It's connected now. And asks us to choose where we actually have this. So which you'll see after some time, it helps you to identify which device is connected to which, because as you go around in the house, you can move from, your phone can move from being connected to the living room. On my side, I can go from being in the living room, and as I move, it goes to the office. I move to my bedroom and connects to my bedroom. So it also, being able to identify where the Deco is helps you to know where they sort of connected. And actually this, as a hint, as I was saying, this actually helped me to make my home smarter, and we'll talk about it in that other video. So stay tuned, as I said. And yeah, it asks us for the sort of internet connection tab. I'll leave it as default now, the dynamic IP, but it's not what I want to use. But yeah, we'll just leave it as it is for now. And then it asks us to create a Wi-Fi network. So you can give your Wi-Fi network a name, as well as then create a password. And then once we have those created, it asks us to connect to it, and we are now connected. And you can actually also see that it says Wi-Fi 6. So because my Z Fold 2 actually supports the latest Wi-Fi standard, Wi-Fi 6, the fastest one, it is now connected immediately to Wi-Fi 6. If you have other devices that don't support Wi-Fi 6, the Deco will just connect them with the normal Wi-Fi standard. So doesn't mean that it won't work if you don't have Wi-Fi 6. And then we see it tells us that if we want to add more networks, what we just need to do is just to connect them. So this is actually quite easy. So I think they're actually living up to their word of saying that it's easy to set up, because this is really easy. Once you have this, means that the other times we're just going to connect. So that's what we're going to do now. But before we do that, let's first test the speed. Let's test it. And I have a 25 megabits per second up and download speed. So this is sort of consistent with my connection. So all looks great. So now let us go and try to connect the other Deco, and this is in my office, and this is where, if you remember my other video, this is where I used to get the most terrible sort of network. So let's see if the Deco also does a good job in the office. So let's connect the power cable. So here we just connect the power cable only. So let's connect it. It shows a yellow light again because it's starting up. And let's just wait until it starts pulsing blue. They said we'll have to wait for around 2 minutes. So let's see. It's connected. And just about after around 2 minutes, disconnected. It shows green, so meaning that it has now found the other Deco that's in the living room. So now they are now speaking to each other, and then they can sort of change hands with your devices when you move from the living room to the office, or from the office to the living room. And this is the power of a mesh network. So let's also then test the speed here. Doesn't seem to be a good speed here because I'm not getting 25 megabits per second, but let's test it again. Okay, now I'm getting a better speed, the expected sort of speed, so that's good. Maybe it was sort of still setting up. And yeah, so all looks good. And then now let's connect the last Deco that we have, since I have 3 Decos. And then this one I've decided to place it in my bedroom so that I can get the best connection. So let's connect it, connect the power cable. Also just like the one in the office, it lights up yellow, pulses blue for around 2 minutes, and then we are ready to go. Let us also test the setup. Let us also test the network here. It's around 25 megabits per second, which is what we expected. So all good. I just want to show you one last thing, because you might be wondering, I had a Powerline extender, where did I sort of take that one? And what I've decided is in the garage, where I also have my smart switch to sort of make my garage smart, so I can open it wherever I am in the world. So it also needs Wi-Fi, but I've realized that in my garage, the Deco, even though you do get the network, it sometimes struggles. So I've decided to rather take the Powerline extender, move it from my office and put it in the garage. So meaning that now my whole house, wherever you are in the house, you have a very good Wi-Fi connection. So you never have to struggle. So this is it in my garage. You see there, it's connected, and it's connecting my smart switch there. That controls the garage, and then connects my Zigbee hub here, which also connects my which also speaks to my home automation software to tell me if the garage is closed or open, as a sort of a security measure, as well as a smart switch, so I can switch on the light in my garage on and off wherever I am in the world. So that was it for the unboxing. I hope you enjoyed it, and you can actually see sort of the benefits of having a mesh network, or maybe not yet, but as I said, there'll be another video that I'll be doing where I show using a sort of the full review and all the features that I've seen here, how it has made my home smarter and so on. So stay tuned, and if you would want to sort of grab one of this for you, it will set you back to around, I think now it's around 9,000, but when I got it, it was around 6,000. So it is a bit on the pricier side, as I had said in the other video, but for me it's one of those things where, and you'll see in my full review video, where I feel like, yes, it was a huge spend, but actually I think it's value for money because I am benefiting. So that was it, and I hope you liked the video. And if you did like it, give it a thumbs up and comment down in the comment box if you have sort of any questions, and if you have anything that you actually want to specifically see in my full review video, comment on the comment box, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.